Hi, my name is Stephanie Dorian.
John Bernstein.
BJ Dodge.
I'm a teacher at the Creative Writing Conservatory.
And I teach for the Acting Conservatory.
And I am the Assistant Director of the Acting Conservatory and a proud director of the Identity Project.
The Identity Project is meaningful because good writing is meaningful.
It provided a platform for students to ask and answer deep questions to better understand themselves.
And make very brave work.
The students in the Identity Project have taken creative risk.
I would like people to walk away from this project with the reminder that these stories reveal both our uniqueness and commonalities.
You all can be everything.
And I'm hopeful that empowers others to take a look at themselves and claim ownership to their authentic identities.
The students are the teachers here.
So thank you for letting me be a part of it, and I hope you enjoy it.
So hard over this whole entire quarantine.
We've learned about each other, about writing, and we've learned how to delve deep into our memories and our experiences to create these monologues.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Identity Project, and congratulations.
Hi, my name is Tessa Espinola.
Hi, my name is Emma V. Garcia.
Hi, my name is Isabella Brooks.
Hi, my name is Eva Vanderveen. I'm in 8th grade and I'm in the Acting Conservatory.
I'm in 8th grade in the Acting Conservatory.
I'm in the 10th grade in the Acting Conservatory.
I'm in 8th grade in the Acting Conservatory.
The Identity Project has been meaningful to me because it kind of helped me sort through who I was.
Honestly, it was kind of like free therapy.
It's given me a platform to share about my hardships.
I was no longer a scaredy cat when it came to revealing what circumstances my family and I were in when I was younger.
But you don't need a label and you don't need to define yourself, and you've just gotta be happy with who you are.
And I've never really opened up to anyone about that.
You have to love yourself and your hardships first before anyone else can.
You are a human. You're a human, you have normal feelings, and you should feel free to express that no matter what anyone else tells you. You are your own person. You are not somebody else. You are not what your family says you are. You are not what your friends say you are. You are your own person, and you should believe that.
I'm usually a pretty guarded person.
It boils down to be yourself.
That you should never hide your identity.
You should do whatever you want to do. Even if the entire world is telling you you can't and all the signs are pointing to no. Be the one light that is saying yes.
The past 3 years have been a big struggle for me. I was only 9 years old when my entire world turned upside down. Three years ago, April 24th, 2018, my dad had a stroke. Obviously, since I was so young, I didn't understand what was happening. It'll get better. I said to myself every day, as what used to be my perfect little world slipped out of my hands. My family was no help. Stay strong for your mom, stay strong for your dad, stay that perfect little girl for us. Useless. As my dad started getting better, I thought I would get better. Boy, was I wrong. November 21st, 2019. My grandma passed away. I was 11. You want to know what happened? Stay strong for your mom. Stay strong for your dad. Stay that perfect little girl for us. This time, it was much worse. I was in 7th grade, just started at a new school. And you know what happens to middle school students when they start at a new school? Their mental health slips. But, stay strong for your mom, stay strong for your dad. Stay that perfect little girl for us. I started to cut myself. A few months later, my parents found out and took me to the emergency room, where I was diagnosed with depression. Of course, I didn't want to tell anyone. My label would have been the depressed girl. A year later, I started getting better. And when you think the universe is done torturing you, you think wrong. January 16, 2021. My grandpa passed away. I'm 13. I don't know what to do. A year clean of self-harm just to start all over again. And the same thing. Stay strong for your mom, stay strong for your dad. Stay that perfect little girl. I was done. I was done with that crap. I understand I need to be there for my family, to help them with their feelings. But what about me? What about my feelings, how I feel? I've spent 3 years dealing with your bullshit, trying to stay happy and perfect and supportive. And am I not allowed to feel things? Am I not a human being too? And you say you have help, but you're just not giving it. I'm hurting, I'm struggling, I'm fighting the urge not to cry. But it all doesn't matter. Because I'm the perfect little girl.
I'm a blank slate, which is normal for a child, but that doesn't make it any less confusing. I don't yet know my role in society and in life. I know what I want to be, but life throws curveballs and it can easily catch you by surprise. At the moment, I'm content to let life pass me by, doing nothing but wonder and wish. But as I grow up, I'm going to have to act on those desires. I'm scared. How many doors will be slammed in my face? I think I can take rejection, but I haven't had much experience with it. I am someone who has an abundance of faith. But that might just be because I haven't faced any hardships. I am someone who realizes how blessed she is, but can easily forget it. And above all, I'm still a blank slate. People fill that slate all the time, telling me what's right and wrong and what I should be. It's not up to them. It's up to me to filter through those ideas and decide if I agree or not. Opinions collide all the time. Two separate thoughts that negate what the other claims. Both seem convinced they are in the right. And I'm sure they are. But what's right for me? I might like the idea of one that says to believe and hope. But sometimes you have to do more than that. You have to work for it. I guess I'm worried I don't have the dedication needed to succeed. That wanting and actually doing are two separate things. And there's only one way to find out if I have what it takes. I have to get out there and do it.
I guess I've always been a performer. Yeah, when I was 2, I used to rock out to Hot Chill Ray in the backyard with boas tied around my waist and my head, and I had layers of like jewelry and a scarf tied on my head, so I looked like a rock star. I was also butt naked, but we're not gonna talk about that. And just screaming, singing at the top of my lungs, because, you know, who cares? I've been acting for 6 years. I've been on 503 auditions, and I've booked 31 roles. Do the math. 503 minus 31, that's 472. I've been rejected 472 times. 472 times I've been ghosted. It's kind of like a bad breakup, where one person is trying so hard to get the love they think they deserve, and the other person just isn't giving them the time of day. 472 missed chances, 472 breakups, 472 times where I wasn't good enough. And the feedback is always the same. You're great, they loved you, they just wanted to go in another direction, or, oh, you're too Latina for this role, you don't fit with the family, or, oh, you're not Latina enough. It gets real old. 6th grade was the first time where I really realized it all. The numbers, the hours spent trying to impress people, and the competition. In 7th grade, my mental health crashed. I wasn't eating well, constantly comparing myself to the perfect girls, a horrible mindset. But worst of all, I didn't even believe in myself enough to think I could keep going. I felt utterly and completely alone. And that's what acting does to you. When I saw myself on TV, I found every imperfection about my appearance. Oh, that hair is out of place. Oh, you have a stomach roll when you sit down here. Oh, this other girl on the show is so much prettier and skinnier than I am. I now hide so much about myself because I'm scared that people are going to see the real me and they're not going to like it. Someone who has some flaws and isn't so perfect. Tormented by 472. Do I even want to keep doing this? Do I want to be an actor? Why have I been doing this for so long if it hurts so much? Because acting is everything. This is what I'm supposed to be. I want to tell a story. I want to change the world. This is who I'm supposed to be, and frankly, it's who I want to be. So when people ask me, why do you keep doing this? I think the better question is, why stop now? And after a while, 472 doesn't seem so big.
I know this isn't easy for you to understand. How could it be? You've never known the ups and downs that is reality. But it is a reality. And we might want to crawl away and escape to Mars sometimes. But the truth is that I can't. We can't. No. No. You're gonna listen to my bullshit? Because I have things that are important to say. I am a mother. That is my job, except I don't get paid. Well, I do get paid. In a way. Just being able to see my daughter smiling. I mean, you're a father, right? It has everything to do with that. I just want my daughter to be able to look back at her childhood and for her to see something other than this. It doesn't have to be a house and a tall tree house right next to her bedroom window like I had when I was younger. So maybe she could see something in the world worth fighting for from the top of that tree house. And I want her to look back at this experience and for her to see her mommy happy. And just a little bit more than the endless worry and heartache that I feel every day. Because it is an experience. When you're close to nothing, next to nothing is everything. Please listen, I'm not saying this to get your pity. I mean, I'm sure there are lots of other people that are asking you to hold off on paying the rent. But what gives you the right to say to me how I'm not working hard enough? Or, hey, you're just another speck of dirt on the bottom of my shoe. Okay, you didn't say that last part, but you get the point. Avoiding this because you're too scared to face reality doesn't make the problem go away. I know it's not your responsibility to be listening to this, but please do. You don't know what it's like to watch your child worry endlessly about your income when all the income she should be worrying about is the fake Monopoly money and the game board. You don't know how many times I have prayed. Maybe to something that isn't even out there. For Monopoly money to be converted into real money. If she does remember something positive. Anything at all. I want her to remember this day. And I know that seems outlandish and morbid, but I want her to remember this day because I want her to see how hard I am fighting like a warrior mother to make sure that my sunshine has a warm bed to sleep in tonight with her favorite little stuffed animals next to her. And I want her to know that I am not just going to sit idly by and let you bully us into thinking that somehow, some way, we are not as human as you, because that is ridiculous. You're ridiculous. Yes, you're excused because we don't need money to be wealthy in our hearts, and that is something that you may never understand. I remember the moment my daughter came up to me and she asked me, "Mommy, where's our home?" And the only answer that I had for her was, our home is wherever we're all together. And I know that's very cliche, but it's the truth. But how am I supposed to say that when in any moment she could be taken away? Because I can't financially support her. And I wholeheartedly and honestly would never wish for you, your family, or anyone to go through the kind of judgment and harshness that I feel every day. Because it is painful. I mean, the feeling is like you're a criminal and you're in handcuffs and there's nothing you can say to stop the prejudice of the people. But that doesn't make us any less of a human being, any less like you. Everyone's human, in their own special, kooky, unique way. You see this face, sunshine? I'm gonna get you out of here. Please understand. I am begging you. Please. Don't take this little home away from her. Please, God, just not tonight. Not tonight.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, my name is Isabella Kim.
Dolores Sparnick.
My name is River Amarito. I am in the 11th grade and in the Acting Conservatory.
10th grade in the Creative Writing Conservatory.
8th grade in the Acting Conservatory.
The identity project is important to me.
There are a lot of things that go into making us who we are as a human being.
The world tries to hide these moments where people get to speak out and speak up about certain sensitive topics, and to have that opportunity at school this year has just been so amazing and meaningful to me.
Show the world, all of us.
I love being trans. I am proud of being trans, and that will never change.
I get to know my voice will be heard.
We all fear rejection on some level.
And whether you go through a lot of discrimination on a day-to-day basis or a little amount of discrimination on a day-to-day basis, it is still hard.
That no matter who you are, what race you are, what gender you identify with, how old you are, what your age is, you are enough and you are beautiful inside and out.
We can put it all out on the table and still be loved and valued.
Hey, thanks for having me over.
Of course, come on in.
How many hours would you say you spend here every day?
On an average weekday, probably 21.2.
What's your favorite color?
Funny you should ask. In the moment, a restorative, soothing coalescence of blue, green, and gray.
Lovely. If you could only eat one meal for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Angel hair, pasta, marinara sauce, meatballs, Parmesan cheese.
What is your guilty pleasure?
Definitely chocolate-covered pretzels with salt and pepper pistachios.
What's your favorite movie?
Ratatouille. I came to man with these thumbs. And then The Notebook. It wasn't over! It was never over!
What's your favorite book?
To Kill a Mockingbird. Let's go find it on the shelf.
What's your favorite quote from it?
You don't really know someone until you climb into their skin and walk around in it.
I love that. I see you have quite a few pictures over here. Which one's your very favorite?
If I had to choose one, I would probably have to go with this one. You know, until like a year and a half ago, my sister and I actually shared this room, and when we were younger, she would hold my hand when we slept. Oh, yes, very cute. I want to show you something. So, we have a very fully functioning classroom by day, as you can see.
Clearly, yes.
Yes. But then by night, just watch. We have, wait for it, a dance party. Yes.
What's that?
That?
Yeah.
This is a dream catcher. It catches all my bad dreams.
Do you have a lot of bad dreams?
You know, if I do, I wouldn't really know because I do not remember my dreams. So, I guess it works.
I guess so.
Yes.
What is your very favorite thing about online school?
My 3-step commute, definitely. And then, dressing like a retired person.
It is a bonus, that's for sure. What do you miss the most about real school?
The smell of ocean cookies in the tower, and looking people in the eye. You know, you just can't do that over Zoom. You can, you know, look at people on the screen, but it's really just staring at that little green dot 24/7.
Yes, it is. What are you most looking forward to when the pandemic is over?
Hugs, for sure.
What Disney character do you that you think is most like you?
Nemo, from Finding Nemo.
Why's that?
Well, Nemo, he has his lucky fin, and I've got my magic finger.
Where are you and when are you the very happiest?
When I have done everything on my checklist, and I get to go out into the living room and plop on the couch and watch a show with my family.
What's something that people close to you might be surprised to learn about?
Well, after 16 years of being the dependable one, sometimes I just want to throw caution in the wind and just run wild.
What is something that you wish people knew about you?
Sometimes when I laugh, what I really want to do is cry.
What's your greatest fear?
My greatest fear? Jeez. Well, I think I'm gonna start from the beginning then.
You see, my thumbs are abnormally large and wide. A thumb and a half, as I like to say. They were fused in one of my surgeries when I was 2, so they don't bend now. But hey, at least they'll grow straighter. I have no pincer grasp, and I'm no expert or anything, but I'm pretty sure that and speech are the main things that separate human beings from animals. My left index finger is completely missing a knuckle, and because it's always sticking straight out, it's gotten into its fair share of bumps and bruises over the years. And I call it my magic finger, but if we're being completely honest here, it looks more like a crooked branch that was hastily trimmed from the tree because it was so freaking ugly. My feet? Oh, they're even worse. My big toes have that same extra wide quality as my thumbs, but they also stick out at a strange angle and scrape across the ground whenever I wear flip-flops, even though I had surgery on them as well. It's really not a cute look. And then there's this sizable gap between my big toe and my little toes, which are all webbed together like I'm some strange duck, fish, frog. So, as you can imagine, I am quite a big fan of socks and closed-toed shoes. But I'm used to them. I mean, I don't love looking at them or talking about them or thinking about them, but I'm used to them. It's still frustrating never getting to buy the twinkle toes or the Vans you want because they don't come in extra wide, or I don't know, having to wear dorky Crocs to the pool because flip-flops aren't an option. And it hurts, when people comment on your puffy scars during thumb wars, which I've never won, by the way. And I try to shake it off as best I can, but there are still some days when I just can't help feeling like Quasimodo. So, I guess my greatest fear is that one day someone will reach out to hold my hand and then just let it go.
Sometimes you picture yourself living the best life, being rich, famous, but most of all, achieving the highest standard of beauty. I realized that's not a thing. The world tries to shove an image of the perfect person up to your face, practically yelling at you to become this person. A person with many masks. Not what you normally think of now, wearing a mask to protect you, but a different type of protection. a mask to protect, or more like a mask to cover up scars and flaws? Sometimes I wish my mask would be put on to cover up my past pains. Pains of feeling lost and confused. Why did these friends betray me? Why did they need to say that? Was it necessary? Why did no one see me hurting and broken? Broken from past friends and bullies who made me aware of what the world can do to you. To tear you apart and eat you up like you're nothing. If friends can hurt you and judge you about your appearances, what can the world do to you? And it seems like society is teasing me by giving me bits and pieces of the full effect of the mask. Even though they want me to be this person with the mask, they don't want to give it to me. They cause the wounds that turn into scars. And when I look for help, they're the first ones to offer a hand as if they play no part in harming me. But now I want to stop. Stop feeling the need to be something different. I want to break my mask, bury it, hide it forever. I can't wait to feel that sense of relief. The weight, the burden lifted off of my shoulders. I can't wait to be free. I know I'm going to feel that reassurance. Wait, because now I know I'm good enough for myself. I never need the world's approval because I know my worth. Maybe it doesn't meet the world's standards, but that doesn't matter. Because I am satisfied with myself and who I am. Because I know my worth.
There have been many labels that have been put on me throughout my life. Some I had no say in, like boy, and others that I had a lot of say in. In fact, I put on myself, like artist. But there's one that I found really scary. And it came with no name, but I've taken to calling it Lucky One. See, Lucky One means that I have privilege in the trans community. This is because my family accepted me when I came out. Most of my friends accepted me when I came out. And I can dress and act however I want as long as I don't look like a slut. You know, pretty sweet deal. I was even lucky one when I came out to this friend in a hallway full of people. And he yelled at me and stormed off. Or I was lucky one when I was walking down the street with my other trans friend, and there was this guy. He was walking a little bit too close. He ended up taking another turn, but that anxiety I felt, that fear, that was just me being lucky one, right? No, I'm even lucky one when I'm afraid of what might happen to me today, and I try to imagine what might happen to me, but I can't. My mind draws a blank because what I'm trying to think of is so horrific that I can't picture it. Guess I'm pretty lucky I can't imagine it, right? I'm lucky that I'm not part of the death count in the trans community. I'm also lucky that I'm not sleeping on the streets like some of my trans siblings. I'm lucky one when I have my rights debated in class by cis people that I don't even know. I'm even lucky one when I'm getting patronized about my identity. Or I'm lucky one when I get misgendered. Or I'm lucky one when I get panic attacks because I don't even know what I want my body to look like. Yeah, okay, I'm lucky one. But how lucky am I compared to a cis person? How lucky am I compared to someone who doesn't have to live life like I do? To someone who can hospitalize and even kill members of my own community and get away with it. I am out and proud. And that comes with something. That comes with being out and proud despite the fact that I get less in society because of it. I am being out and proud despite the fact that people see me as lesser because of it. Being out and proud despite the fact that I am endangering my life every single day. Because let's be honest, not everyone likes me for who I am. I am not out and proud because I am lucky one. I am out and proud because I am tired of living as my true self in the shadows. Everyone else gets to do it openly. Why can't I? Why can't I? Why can't my trans friends? It is such a big part of who I am. It is such a big part of who everyone is. And cis people get to take advantage of it. Cis people get to take it for granted. It is who I am, and I am tired of being told that it is anything else. I am tired of just sitting down here and taking it. I'm tired of sitting. Why can't I stand? Why can't I stand right here in full dress and full makeup and not fear that someone is going to put me back down in this chair again? This is who I am. This is what I am. And no matter how hard anyone tries, they cannot change that.
Hi, my name is Molly Ray.
Kaya Sparnick.
Hello, my name is West Mulholland and I'm in the 10th grade acting conservatory.
8th grade in the acting conservatory.
Senior in the creative writing conservatory. The identity project has been so meaningful to me.
You're part of something bigger than you.
Honor and explore the kind of matriarchal tradition.
My message about identity.
Family isn't DNA, it's love.
Identity, it covers the scope of who you are and what you believe and how you act and what values you have.
Identity isn't about just me or just you.
That physical appearance does not reflect the essence of identity.
We're not meant to be here alone.
Be kind to your moms.
Oh, Nana, I just got my hat in the mail. Oh, I love it. Thank you so much.
Oh, darling, it looks lovely on you. Happy birthday, Kaya.
Oh, thank you. Okay, I added to our bucket list. Now we have knitting lessons, a tea and cucumber sandwich party, birthday cake ice cream binge, of course, a call the midwife from Downton Abbey marathon, fish and chips dinner. Actually, I'm gonna make that dinners. I think we might need more than one of those.
Yes.
Oh, let's also add a makeup Christmas Eve celebration because we missed ours this year. We'll open Christmas crackers and wear those paper crowns and make a delicious turkey dinner. I'm hungry, if you couldn't tell.
Sounds lovely, dear.
miss you so much, Nana. Will you tell me a story? Oh, no, better yet, will you tell me your story?
All right. Well,
you know that in World War II, London evacuated its children from the countryside during the Blitz to keep them safe from the bombings. It was some time before September 3rd, 1939, just before my 7th birthday. And my family, we stood in line to be measured for gas masks. We were given a mask and a square cardboard box to put it in, and a strap to put around our shoulder. And we were told that it was the law to carry it with us wherever we went. And when we got home, my mother told us to put 2 of each of our belongings and clothes into a pillowcase. And the next day, I believe it was a Friday, we went from my house to the railway station, and all of the children were lined up, 2 at a time, and we said goodbye to our mums, and we got on a train to be evacuated. I remember my eldest sister fainted when we said goodbye. I guess she really realised what was happening. I was too young to understand what was going on. Well, when we arrived at the church hall, all of the evacuees were given a 6pence, which is something like 10 cents. And I remember I lost mine and I started crying. But anyway, we were in this church because they didn't have a family for us to go to yet. So next they put us in this pub, my 2 sisters and I, and we were there for that weekend while they were looking for a family for us. And it was at school, actually, that they found a family for me to live with. A girl in my class accused me of stealing her eraser. In England, we call it rubber. And the teacher, quite smartly, actually, told her to go home at lunch and check to make sure it wasn't there, which of course it was. And her mother had instructed her to go to the class and in front of everyone invite me over for tea. And I went over to her house and my family took a liking to me and they ended up inviting me to stay with them. And it was quite a small house, only 2 bedrooms, so they couldn't take in my sisters as well, but they were a lovely family. I remember my mother, my first night there, had bought me a brand new pair of pyjamas, top and bottom, and it was time for bed. And I started crying for my mum, and I couldn't bring myself to stop, but the father, Mr. Neville, he held me on his lap while I wept, and he talked softly to me while I fell asleep. I have to tell you that I've always said since then that he still is the nicest man I have ever met. And he was quite nice looking too. I'll never forget how you came to me at Grandma Pat's funeral and told me that she was your best friend, and the last time you saw her, you told her that you would be taking over her grandma duties. I remember you telling me that you were adopting us, and to call you Nana, and that you would be taking the job very seriously. That moment changed my life, Nana. You took the saddest day I'd ever had, and you created a new family for me and Alora. You taught me that family isn't just the people who share your blood. They're the people that make you feel accepted and wanted and love you and listen to you and believe in you. They're the people who hold you as you cry, never let you feel alone. Family is love, not genetics. I think you were meant to be my Nana all along. Oh, darling, I know I was. Not flesh of my flesh, nor bone of my bone, but miraculously my own. I love you too, darling. Well, I'm going to go watch the BBC broadcast of the Queen. I wonder if she's going to talk about the Meghan Markle opening. Bye, Nana. What a scandal. Bye, dear.
I guess I didn't arrive here alone. Not really. You're with me. For now. But I'm going to leave this hospital alone.
And I know for a fact that you are not. And that will be the first moment of an infinity's worth where your life will completely diverge from mine. Because you're going to be brought through those hospital tours by a family. People who will love you. People who can care for you. People who will bring you to America. Those are the only certainties that I have about your future. 4 inevitabilities. And I'm going to be left with a lifetime of questions. Going through each day with a mind susceptible of wandering to what-if scenarios of where you might be, what you might be doing, who you are. And I'll never get any answers. I won't get to know what you look like. I won't get to see if you have my hair or my nose or his smile. You won't get those kinds of answers either. When we look in the mirror, we'll see pieces of ourselves and wonder how and if and where they might fit in someone's reflection that's halfway across the globe. But when you think about it, that's the one tangible connection that you'll ever really have to me beyond the 9 months you spend in here. What you see in the mirror. Because the only thing that I can give you is flesh. And a mother should be able to give you so much more. But here I am, giving you up. The official papers label what I'm doing as abandonment. Apparently, I'm abandoning you. But that's not what this is. You need to know that. You know what I'm doing? I'm being your mother. For this one moment, for this one decision, I'm your mom and I'm protecting you. I'm ensuring the rest of your life. I'm doing what I can to make sure you live what I could only dream about. Because isn't that what a mother does? She has aspirations for her child's future. I won't be the one who gives you that future, but someone else will. I know this. And I know that they'll be by your side. I know that they'll hope for you, just like I will never stop doing. And I know that they'll love you. That's why I can live with 4 certainties and a lifetime of questions. Because instead of questions, it will be a lifetime of dreams. And those 4 certainties will lead to an infinity of possibilities.
When strangers look at us, Bubba, they see 2 things instantly. The first is obvious. We don't look alike. There's never been a moment in our life when I've tried to tell you otherwise. What would be the point? You can see it just like everyone sees your brown eyes and my blue ones, and your brown hair next to my blonde. And there's no dad in the mix for you to resemble. I'm all you've ever known and ever had, and that's normal for us. It's simple. It makes total sense. But it doesn't make sense to everyone as simply as it makes sense to us. You and I both grew up knowing that you don't need to share blood to be a family, but not a lot of people think that way, or they don't realize that it's a way to think. They look at each other and see themselves in the shape of a chin or the peak of a hairline, and even though we might not have that, I can still see myself in you, in the way that I raised you, how you act with kindness no matter what, how you never stop asking questions and seeking answers, how you know that if you want a goal with all your heart and you never stop trying and you never give up, you can achieve it. I know you know this because that's how I raised you, and because being your mother was my goal. So when people ask you, who's your real mom? The answers in our car rides when you belt the lyrics to Helen Reddy's I Am Woman and always say, Mama, it's the song you listen to when you are on the plane to get me from Vietnam. It's in the bows that I stuck in your hair the moment I saw you. But the answer is also in the second thing people see instantly when they look at us together. They see how when I look at you, you are everything that I have ever wanted. They see that you are what my whole life has been for.
I am a product of war. I stand here before you 5'10", blonde hair, green eyes, pale skin, often mistaken for the conqueror. But it's in fact I who has been conquered. My whole history, my whole ancestry, my essential identity is a tapestry of war, conflict, assimilation, and immigration. When I was born, everyone was surprised because instead of having dark hair and dark eyes like my Filipino and Japanese ancestors, I was somehow born with blonde hair and green eyes of the oppressor. Maybe this is because my mom is fair and her genes were more powerful. Or it's because both Japan and the Philippines have a long history of war and colonization. Either way, Oji-san called me Mochi. Because on the outside I was fair and white-skinned, but on the inside he knew that I had the sweet red bean flavor that is typical of Asian ancestry. Looking at me, some might never know that my bloodline is intimately intertwined with the Filipino farmers who immigrated here via the US Navy or the Japanese internment camp survivors of Manzanar. Although my eyes may be green like tea, they do not have the Western shape. Rather, I carry the slanted folds of my samurai ancestors. I know what you're thinking. I've actually heard it before. Disguised behind nicknames or tossed harshly at my back as I walk by. White boy, Hakujin, Puting Tao, Maputi, Howley. I can pass, but I refuse to just pass by. When I was 3, my Lola pushed me in a Target shopping cart and a well-meaning stranger assumed she was my nanny asked if she was looking for extra hours as if a short, brown-skinned woman holding her blonde grandson in public was anything but ordinary. When I was 7, I was accused of photobombing a family wedding portrait. The only white boy in a beautiful cacophony of brown. The photographer singled me out until my cousins, laughing, claimed me Pamilia. At 13, I buried you. Grandson, do you know why I call you the Mochi? And I know that everyone make fun of that because the Mochi is the white pastry. But the Mochi also has the red bean. The sweet red bean flavor that you are. And never mind your cousins and your uncles and your aunties that make fun of that because you are white on the outside. You are very much Pinoy on the inside. Remember that, son. Grandpa, Lolo, Oji-san, I feel you. I hear your voice. Your ancestors were interned. Their land stripped away. You sailed for months on uneasy waters hoping to make it home. Just so that I could taste the sweetness of the red bean and know that my imposed identity is external and meaningless. What matters most is the complicated diversity on the inside. We are warriors, no matter what we may look like. I am a woman, caught between 2 worlds. When I was not much older than you are now, my own father, Oto-san, told me no Japanese man would ever marry me. He said, you are too stubborn, you are too independent, you are too disobedient. The world was at war, and I was a soldier. Every day I put on my boots, knee-high, white go-go style, and rode my bicycle looking for food. There were rumors of an American soldier handing out candy to Japanese children. So I snuck onto the military base to see if the legend was true. That's where the supply chain started. His name was Master Sergeant Thomas Mulholland, and he told me he flew in from the Normandy sky. He told me he only survived because his parachute got caught in the tree, and suspended by ropes and branches, he did not drown like almost everyone else in the 82nd Airborne. After fighting in France, he was stationed outside of Tokyo and charged with the rebuilding effort, had control of all the supplies, and like me, he was disobedient. Together we came up with a plan. He gave me extra sugar and chocolate, and I would sell them on the black market to make just enough to support and feed the other families and children in my village. My father was right. I did not marry a Japanese man. I married that American, the first man to show me kindness. And with a baby in my belly and a toddler on my lap, we sailed across the ocean to America, where the war continued. But this was not a war of guns and nuclear explosions. This was a war of spit and hateful words, parting glances, segregation, internment, as my children were forced to use separate bathrooms. I had 9 children, 8 of whom were born on American soil, but still we were illegal. Our marriage was illegal. No one wanted us. No one accepted us. It's a good thing I'm stubborn. It's a good thing I'm independent. And it's a very good thing I am disobedient. Grandma, Obasan, Lola, I hear you. You were caught between 2 worlds, an entire ocean apart. One world said that you would never fit in, and the other cast you as the enemy because of your pale face and slanted eyes. Yes, it was a good thing you were disobedient. Had you listened to their jeers and stayed inside behind shut windows as you cooked fish because the neighbors complained, I would not be here today. I am a product of war. Only this time, I'm not fighting in foreign lands. This time, I am standing on American soil, and I am fighting for your acceptance.
Hi, my name is Jamie Jung.
Hi, my name is Maya Furcha. I'm in the 9th grade and in the Acting Conservatory.
My name is Ashley Park, and I'm in 10th grade in the Creative Writing Conservatory.
And I'm in 9th grade in the Creative Writing Conservatory.
The Identity Project has been meaningful to me.
I really appreciated how, despite us all having the same prompt to write about our identity, that we were able to provide such a diverse set of stories.
And reveal all the thoughts I have bottled up that I wish I could proudly tell.
Over these past few weeks, we've just done so much learning.
Unfortunately, we do live in a world where certain aspects of our identity aren't always celebrated, and they should be.
You don't have to be like everybody else just to feel like you belong.
Being authentic to yourself is really important so that you can be raw and honest and vulnerable with other people.
It's a message I wish I could have told myself a long time ago.
You can't let anyone tell you who you are. I am the gap. That is my culture. My mother is Mexican American, and she grew up Catholic, going to school at Mission St. Gabriel and celebrating Tamale Day, while my father is Ashkenazi, and he grew up working in the family deli, hearing about the Holocaust from my great-grandmother and celebrating Hanukkah and the other high holidays. My brother and I were raised being both Jewish and Latino, but they almost seemed to cancel out. I was teased by my Mexican relatives for being a gringa, or a white girl, and I tried to learn Hebrew on my own so I could have a bat mitzvah like my dad and friends did. I somewhat desperately wanted to be more Jewish or more Mexican, but I didn't have a bat mitzvah, and I'm not going to have a quinceañera. I see my friends and how much their culture affects them, and mine doesn't affect me in the same way. And I'm almost jealous, but I've realized that my culture doesn't have to be a part of my identity like it is theirs. I am what my ethnicity has made me, but I'm also my friends and my family. I am my hobbies and my passions. I am the art I create and the movies I love. I am the gap. That is my culture.
March 11th, 2020. Before quarantine even started, an old white man pointed at my family and muttered the words coronavirus under his breath. I wonder where he got this idea from. I mean, did he just look at my small, slanted eyes and flat face and see those words plastered on my forehead instead? Because somehow, some way, everyone just sees the same thing. I've encountered more racism in this last month than I have in my entire life, but little do they know that I'm not even Chinese or been to China, ever. But that only makes my heart ache for my Asian brothers and sisters who now also have to watch their every move. We can't even sneeze in public without everyone scattering like a drop of oil in water. And when everyone's afraid that the virus will find their bodies, I'm afraid that my brother will find himself at the end of a bloody fist instead of finding his way back home. I'm less afraid of the death rate of the sickness than I am of the xenophobia that seems to be spreading so much faster, and I'm tired of everyone literally holding their breath around me. And the worst part is, when people look at my face and see the coronavirus instead, nobody even notices. Not even when I try to fight back. My words get lost in the filter of their mask and drowned out by the sounds of people storming their Costco's and supermarkets. It's like they're watching the news for the spread of the disease instead of realizing the damage that has already been done to the people around them. So, to the racist grandpa who thought I couldn't hear him say the words coronavirus because we were in the middle of a cheesecake factory, when I say I wanted to punch you, I mean, I really wanted to punch you. I mean, I wanted to cough aggressively in your direction. I mean, I wanted to sneeze on you and mess up your clean white button-up. I mean, I wanted to fight back, but I didn't. Instead, I forgave you. Not that you deserved any of my forgiveness and my time and my energy, but because I'm better than you, and I only cared about it enough to write about you a month later. Literally just a week after that entry, every fear and concern I had because of that instance came true. School shut down, my family faced even more racism, and the entire world just stopped. I'm so sick of hearing the words coronavirus, COVID-19. I've heard it so many times on the news, in conversations, and racial slurs that are thrown at me, and it just doesn't stop, and my God, do I want it to. I've tried to keep my head held up high, but it's like I can feel the people's eyes staring at me when they see my face, and the worst part, I see what they see when I look in the mirror. I thought I got over that, but I feel that shame and that loneliness. I feel ashamed for daring to be Asian in America, and how horrible is that? I used to hate my eyes. I used to hate my flat face. I used to hate having parents that spoke with a thick Asian accent and having a Korean middle name. I mean, I went through the entirety of elementary school with kids telling me that the only reason I was smart and got good grades was because I was Asian, and that I should go eat my smelly dog food. And there never was any cool Asian girl I could look up to in the TV shows and the movies that I watched or the books that I read. And I got used to being different, and I got over all my problems, and I was proud of myself, but I'm sorry. I just know that some people look at me and expect me to be this
model minority, someone who doesn't complain about social issues and instead mostly keeps to herself, probably spends all her time busying herself with her academics, wondering what college she's going to, what STEM major she's going to choose, buying SAT books. I'm supposed to be the best at the different. So admitting that I do those things that apply to this model minority feels like giving into the stereotypes when I so desperately want change and to be strong. This model minority thing is internalized too. I'm not supposed to worry about anything except my grades in college. There's no room to be bothered by racism and prejudice because, according to my relatives, why get involved when there's no point? That's a problem. There should be a point. There should be people talking to me and listening to me when I speak out about this. There should be people listening to me, and I've been trying to reach out to people about this. I feel like I've been fighting and talking for so long, but I never make it far. It's a letdown that every time I open up about this, nothing changes. I just can't get to this specific part in everyone's brain and turn on the switch that would make them understand everything. I can't do that. And it's so frustrating. So then I give up like everyone else before me. Then how can I say that I want change, that I want to be strong? What keeps me from being a stereotype? I've come to the conclusion that this world that I live in has only worked because someone bends, and it doesn't matter if they break. But there are lives at stake now, people dying and getting attacked, and I am tired of bending. So, if there is no point in talking about this, I'll make a point to change that.
Before you say anything, let me tell you one thing. My name is not Jae-hee Jung. It's Jenny Jung, but you can call me Jen. No, sorry, it's Evelyn, but you can call me Lynn. Or maybe it's Sally, or Leah, or Jamie, or I don't know. Something normal, something American, something that doesn't sound like Jae-hee Jung. It's not like I don't have a name. I do, I have one. It's just that, I don't know. I don't know what it is yet. It's because every first day of school, I'm afraid that my teachers will hesitate before my name like it's a spider in the room. Something that makes you freak out for a minute until you kill it and you feel safe again. They ask me to correct them one last time, but it's never the last time. And you would think that it's not a big deal. And you're right, it shouldn't be a big deal. It's just a stupid name. It's not a big deal. It's really not. But then why do I feel like it's my name that won't let me belong? I mean, I guess I understand. If I met a person named Jae-hee Jung, I would start every conversation asking her where she was from, like where she's really from, because obviously she doesn't belong here. If I met a person named Jae-hee Jung, I'd tell her that her name sounds so exotic, that she's so exotic. I'd start speaking really slowly because she probably doesn't even know a word of English. I mean, if I met a person named Jae-hee Jung, I wouldn't want to be around her. The problem is that my name is Jae-hee Jung. No, it's not. I have a friend named Lindsay, and once her dad asked me what I wanted to be when I grew up, and I was really little at the time, and I really wanted to be an author. And I told him that, but he said I couldn't be one. Never. He said there was no author that ever looked like me before, no author with a name like mine. I said that was even better since I would get to be the first one, but he laughed and said I would be the only one since no one would want an author like me. That's okay. Authors are overrated anyways. I'm sorry. Let me try this again. Hi, my name is Jamie Jung, and I'm 14 years old, and I want to be a doctor, I guess. No. An author. An author. Yeah. That's me.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. Hi, my name is Ella Park.
Ryan Nicole Brown.
James Slaybaugh.
Cheyenne Harquist. And I'm in the 12th grade in the Acting Conservatory.
I am in the 11th grade, a junior, and I am in the Acting Conservatory.
And I'm a sophomore in the Creative Writing Conservatory.
12th grade, and I'm in the Acting Conservatory.
The Identity Project has been meaningful to me because it's really pushed me to think about certain topics and find ways to express my thoughts creatively.
It really helped me affirm some stuff about my life. That's
all of us the opportunity to just share our stories.
Say I'm bisexual, especially in the setting that I know that this is something that people who are close to me are going to see, is a very strong coming out moment, I think. And I'm glad to know that I can do it through art.
See just how incredible some of these people are, and to share how incredible I am, if you don't mind me saying.
My message about identity.
The search for self-identity is really messy.
Despite the power I feel, there's always, that bit of fear and apprehension of doing something.
When you are talking about your own uniqueness and looking at the uniqueness of others, that part of you is one of the reasons you are you.
It'll take a lot of work to feel comfortable with that piece of your identity.
And confusing and constant questioning and self-doubt is all a natural part of the process, even though it can be hard.
Unfortunately, some of the parts that make us unique may make us feel insecure, or we may be made to be insecure.
I hope that it can give a sense of power to whoever sees this.
Your story is your story.
And the whole of you is beautiful. My mom told me at a sushi restaurant. I was eating and I was feeling pretty good, and she leaned over and she said she wanted to talk about something. And she told me that when I was a bit younger, some doctors diagnosed me with Asperger's syndrome or autism spectrum disorder. And I thought, well, that makes sense. I always considered myself to be a few things, namely a little socially awkward, maybe a little absurd with my acting, some of my mannerisms, maybe my humor. One thing I do is I'll listen to music while spinning around in circles on the tips of my feet. It's fun. I've a little bit, when I go through life and I look at some guys who are maybe a little more masculine, more macho than I am, or at least I think that. Sometimes when that happens, I get these degrading thoughts in my head, and I think these words would come into my head, and these words, they said, they were weak. They told me I was weak. Social degenerate, that was another one of the words that would come up. But I would remember what my mom told me that day. She said that she hadn't told anything to me up until this point because she wanted me to be in the right place to know what being on the spectrum truly meant. And that while it means a lot, it doesn't change who I am. Me knowing and me not knowing didn't change who I was. I'm the same person I've always been. I just now fully understand the beautiful gifts that have been gifted to me. Or at least I understand them better. When I make stories while I spin around on my feet, they're beautiful. They are beautiful stories, and I want to share them with the world. And so many people, they've come up to me and they say to me, James, you are very kind, very considerate, very strong, very respectful, and one who's worthy of respect. And you are beautiful. And I never need to ask. I've never needed to ask people for these things that they tell me. They just give me these gifts. I don't need to be fixed. None of us need to be fixed. We need to be loved. When I look around at all the people around me, no one needs to be fixed. We just all need to be loved. So I stand here, knowing who I am. I'm beautifully broken. And so are you.
At this point, I'm just done trying to believe. Christianity is so hard to get a grasp on, especially in this family. I mean, it's not like we ever practice. How's I supposed to learn the Word of God positively? Christian preschool and Bible camp aren't going to do shit when I'm too scared of hearing the Jesus death story to attend scripture, like. And you know I'm bi, right? So, from the very beginning, I was always a little afraid of going to hell, even when I thought I was just an over-invested ally. And even when I became more comfortable with my identity and I tried to learn and become more involved, well, obviously, that didn't work out. See, I had this friend. He was 14 when he died, and I thought, now, why would God do that? And the seed of doubt kind of lodged itself into my mind. At that point, and for a long time, the only reason I did believe in God was because I wanted a good afterlife. Believers will go to heaven, live in the name of the Lord, and you will be well, something like that. I don't know. And then I thought, well, if God really is benevolent, then why would he do this? What is it that I'm really believing in? And with the seed of doubt already sown, on top of the fact that I was like, well, I might just go to hell for thinking girls are hot anyways. Not to mention heaven, it's its own psychological horror unto itself. The idea of eternity is paradoxical and terrifying, and I thought, well, maybe we're all just the products of a merciless, unfeeling universe. And when we die, it's like going to sleep. And that thought comforted me. It made me realize that I can't just let some supernatural force that I don't even know exists dictate my life. The notion of something after that doesn't even sound good. My heaven is eternal unconsciousness. No past, no present, no future. And I find that hopeful somehow. The idea that we'll all be evened out in the end of it. When the sun burns out and the planet eaters finally pay us a visit, the only thing we'll need to worry about is whether or not we taste good. And I know that sounds really bleak, but I kind of like it. The thought that once life has tired us out, we can be at real peace. And eventually, Earth will return to how it was. I mean, I can understand the need to believe in something. It gets you through life, through tragedy. There are people out there who live healthy lives with religion as their backbone, who do charity and teach their kids good morals. I was just never the kind of person to be motivated by beliefs alone. Plus, there's too much behind it for me. As much good comes from religious practices, it's been used to justify too much bad, especially to people like me, my ancestors, my friends. At least some of my ancestors, that is. Listen to me. I feel extremely uncomfortable walking into Catholic churches. I feel the need to announce myself, like, hey, conquistador ancestors, it's me, your black great-great-granddaughter, probably the product of some of the people you enslaved. I can't just do that. I can't. But you know what? It's way too much to talk about in one night. And hey, as long as you're a good person, then what's the harm? Do unto others, you know. I mean, maybe there are some people out there who will face divine judgment, heaven, hell, and all that. But me, I'm comfortable with my own theory. When I die, I will gladly go to sleep.
Doc, you don't understand. I often have trouble sleeping because I hear silent voices in the night. Mama says I'm crazy. So God's the one who tucks me in and says goodnight. I want to close my eyes. But there are silent voices in the night reminding me of what happened on that day. I was walking down that street on 5th when I saw a woman walk up to this little girl with this tattered smile. This kindred spirit. And she knelt down to me and said, "You need to go back to where you came from." Ever since then, nothing can compare to the anger pulsing into my tears. They don't know what it means to stand in thorns, built of fear. The blue-eyed walls are now dissolving into a great king of the past is drawing near. He is fully cloaked in my ancestors' tears. Take me to the place they call paradise, where our screams are stripped from leaping birds of prey. Doc, I know you say maybe one day you'll be saved from your mother's womb and bloom this darkness away to light, but this anger I muster is like a seed planted in my mind, unable to redefine paradise. Why do I make it so hard to comply? Why do you make it so hard to find God? Is watching me in fright. The little girl holds her head up high, but even one day, the brightest stars will run out of light. There are voices in the night stopping me. I can't be who I want to be, who I try to be, what they want me to be, what they expect me to be. Stop! Nothing you say is helping me. My smile now tattered. My spirit is still. Closing my eyes, there's this sudden voice booming above the others. They say I know. Bee vines are hard to reach, young love. Keep seeking. Suddenly, the fruits of my spirits have dwindled into tiny seedlings watered by silent prayers of the night. Suddenly, my heart has grown so much from the start.
You know, I've been I've been praying a lot lately. Actually, just last week I prayed that God would maybe drop a brick on this annoying bitch from my school, Sarah Chang's head, and that her boyfriend would break up with her. You know, because they're just so smug about being a couple. None of that happened, by the way. Well, I guess he does work in mysterious ways. Well, anyways, I guess that's kind of the thing, you know. I think God never answers any of my prayers, and it's getting kind of old, you know, because, I mean, I get what he wouldn't answer those ones, but I also pray for good things too, and they never happen either. And I was just thinking, you know, like, I'm a pretty okay Christian, but I've never felt that, like, connection to God, you know, like the one that everyone talks about. And it's not like you can force a connection, right? Like take the gays, for example. I mean, I'm no part of the whole LGBT alphabet gang or whatever, but what if I was, you know? What if I was like lesbo? I mean, I think every girl's got to have asked herself that question, you know? What if I liked another girl? Like, if I only ever felt connections to other girls, you get me? And yet, technically, you could choose to not act like one of those. But, I don't know, just be, like, loyal to God. But I think it's so mean that God would make that you do that, you know, because isn't love supposed to be, like, the best thing you can get on earth? And to, like, abandon that for something you're not even sure is up there. No, I know you would fight me on that, Grover. You'd say if I really believe, I know for sure where I'm going, straight right to heaven, right? Well, maybe I'm gonna go to hell. Maybe I'm predestined.
Oh shit, I have to go now? After that? Oh, that was real deep and shit. Oh, look, nobody look at me, okay? Okay? I didn't know I'd have to talk. Oh my God, Grover. Anyways, I just wanted to say I really liked hearing other people's stories and stuff. It's really interesting, even though I'm kind of worried for like all of y'all, but you guys don't need to worry about me. I mean, you probably don't already, but y'all got a lot of mental shit going on, so. And of course, this camp was kind of hell, but I'll miss you guys a lot. Because you guys are angels. Seriously, angels. My mom was being a bitch earlier and was like, get out of the house again, I'm gonna send you off to rehab. Don't you hate when moms do that? I was like, Mom, it's a 2-week slip, right? You know, people always talk about how hard it is to get off of heroin. I mean, I don't really think it's that hard. At least for me, maybe. I did it. You know, I tried it. I crossed it off the list. You know, deleted my dealer's number. You know, I don't think I was ever really on it in the first place. It was more like a mental kind of thing, rather than physical, for sure. Yeah. But the thing is, sometimes moms don't really listen. So, when I become a mom, I'm not gonna send my kids off to some dollar store wilderness camp. No offense, Grover, but they don't really work. Of course, I'm not gonna be a mom because my genetics is a really ugly thing and I wouldn't wish that on nobody. Because I am not selfish. You know, that's the one thing that I'm certain of. Is that even if I'm not the best, most perfect, most likely to be Jesus person, at least I'm not selfish. Wait. Actually, I am selfish, but I own it. I own it, yeah. And I don't force other humans into this world. You know, I don't screw up their lives. I don't go away and go back and whatever, like, I don't got a kid and responsibilities and but pretend like I'm the one that's all straight and mighty. I mean, the only life that I'm messing up is my own. I guess that's not really selfish though, is it? Right. Yeah, I think so. I'm not selfish. And I didn't even want to talk. Okay.
I hear ya. Yeah, I hear ya. Definitely hear ya. You're confused, maybe angry, upset. And I get it. I get it. vibe with it. And it's valid. Yeah, it's true. Super valid. Janice, Grace, I want to say that I know what you're going through and that everything's gonna be okay. But I don't know that or what that's like. But you know who does know that? Huh? Yeah, big guy upstairs. Yeah, so if you just believe. Yep, just gotta believe. Because what else are you gonna believe in? Like Grace, this is what you're gonna believe? That you're just screwed? That everything's screwed? Everything's screwed you? The universe is out to just screw you up? I mean, nah, you guys, that's a really bleak worldview, don't you think? I just trust. Yeah, trust. Trust in him. Trust in him. Especially you, Janice. Just breathe him in. Close your eyes. If you try closing your eyes and breathe. Breathe them in. Yeah. Okay. But read your Bibles, kids. Yep, read the Bibles. Don't do drugs, except pot. You could do pot. Pot's okay. But definitely don't do the big ones, the big drugs. But definitely read the Bible. Pray. Yeah, be a good person. Just try. Just try. Yeah. Okay. Good talk.
I think that's a take. 3.
I love you, Mom. I had to keep smiling because my mom kept crying.
I am so excited to be a part of this because you are the future.
I hope you all enjoy.
But it's up to you. It's up to you to decide your identity and who you want to be. Thank you.
Thank you.